to be as successful as Michael thought it was going to be.
He wanted to be the biggest.
We are looking at his latest picture, and overall his face is aesthetically not pleasing. His nose has become Pinocchio-like, with very short pointed tip. It may not even be functionally because of the extreme narrowing. His eyes are considerably wider than before. The lower eyelids are lower than they should be, in that there's a show of the white of the eyeball, which is not natural. His skin looks very pale. He has a great deal of makeup to cover up various defects. The chin is very wide, out of proportion with the nose, and if you divide the face into two halves, there's clearly a big discrepancy. The upper part of the face looks effeminate, the lower part of the face looks masculine. Those two halves don't really fit together, and therefore his face looks bizarre.
Bizarre beyond belief. You can see various carve marks on the face where the face is really starting to come undone. The nose has gotten bad, the lips are strange. I mean, it's almost like it's a mask. And you're thinking in the back of his mind, Michael's gonna fool us and take this off and he'll be back to somewhat normalcy, and you know that will never be.
You don't have to be Michelangelo at this stage to figure out that Michael Jackson looks bizarre and unnatural. I believe he's had cheek surgery, lip surgery, multiple chemical peels. He has lost a lot of the cartilage support of his nose, and there's no doubt about the fact that he's disfigured, and permanently disfigured.
His facial transformation is probably the most amazing cosmetic race, gender metamorphosis that we've ever seen. If you look at the aesthetic values that he's appropriated, it has more in common with Hollywood's white 50s women than it does with anything black and male. He's transformed himself from a black man into a white woman.
Obviously, he's changed considerably and looks very different from his old self. Yeah, I guess he's overdone it, but just a bit. Michael Jackson has almost disappeared. His face is always covered with a mask. He wears his hat very low to hide his eyes, so I really wouldn't know what he looks like now.
Jacko's funny face recently made a rare public appearance to promote new album, Invincible.
I got to see his hair and his arm.
Hey, how you doing? You okay? What's your name? Raven.
He definitely does not look acceptable from my perspective when he's performing. And, you know, he'll do what he's done for years. He'll cover his face with bandanas and hats.
In the You Rock My World video, he does appear really to be hiding himself and masking his face, and he's not quite there. He's in the shadows, or the hat is across his face, and hardly surprising given what his face now looks like. He doesn't look like a human being anymore.
And after the limited commercial success and lukewarm reviews given to his most recent work, large question marks linger over Jacko's future.
Michael Jackson's music has kind of lost its way a bit, and the last album in particular, I thought, sounded as if it was 10 years out of date.
I think that Michael has made some very serious miscalculations of focusing way too much on his personal peculiarities and not nearly enough on his music. And what we have seen is a dismantlement of one of the greatest entertainment careers in the history of the world.
Judge him on his music. Judge him on his ability to sell a song or to do what he's done. If he's happy with the way he looks, then be happy for him.
I really care about Michael. I think that he really cares. And I think he's very crazy. You know, I mean, it's pretty obvious. But I also think he's a very decent and good person. I also think he's brilliant.
I think that his appearance is still a source of a great deal of discussion, and it's always going to be. We're fashion looks in because no one's ever looked like this before.
From the days when I first started shooting Michael, I've just seen a very bizarre path that he's taken, from being extraordinarily successful and talented to this obsession which has turned himself into a caricature of anything human.
It's the freak show in the circus, the bearded lady. It's been going on for centuries, that sort of view of the strange creature. Let's go and have a look. And I wonder where he goes from here. I wonder what he's going to be doing in 10 years' time. It looks fairly bleak, really. With somebody on his trajectory, there is always the fear that in the end, there's nowhere to go, apart from complete self-destruction.
Next week's Sunday documentary sees us with an icon of a different kind, Julie Goodyear, best known as Coronation